something from him, and she's investing her emotional content on him. And whether it's somebody investing their emotional content on him or him having to open up his to invest in them, either way, it's a no-go situation for him. And that's the same with Marianne.
Absolutely.
You know, he really wants to be with Marianne. You know, he yearns for that kind of relationship. And you know, and that's why there's so much nerves and sort of, you know, whether he's going to actually go to meet her at the date is the one thing to begin with. And then he manages to go in there and sit down. And then, you know, on the stroll back, he lets his guard down for that brief stroll, and you get an insight into the sort of the possibility there of a relationship. And I think that's the tragedy. There's warmth there. There's a childlike element to him. And then to take it to the next level is just way too much. That's why, you know, we're talking about filming scenes or, you know, long scenes in one take. I think that was the important thing in the hotel room, to see the struggle and to see exactly where the crux of this problem is coming from, you know.
I mean, there's no rule book to sex. I mean, what you can't do and what you shouldn't do. There's no rule books. I mean, he's you know, this thing is, you know, dictating to him what it wants, and if it's sort of kissing or oral sex or whatever kind of sex, I mean, it is. And addiction is all encompassing. It doesn't. There's no rule book. It is what it is.
Can you guys talk briefly about your upcoming project, 12 Days as a Slave?
Not really.
Is it still very much in the germination process?
I'm afraid so.
Okay. Just excited to see work together.
I'd like to talk about just kind of the implications of the ending. I mean, you know, having a film center around a sex addict is not something that most people going to the theater would be able to identify with, and that's the great thing about this.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Well, elements. I think that's the great thing about this film is it allows you, just being an audience member, you're naturally put in the shoes of the main character, and you are able to see this world and realize how much that you really do in your own addictions or your own problems connect with this person. And we see at the end, he either kind of reaches nirvana or reaches rock bottom. And when you go into the club, I think there's a lot of debate of whether that's part of his background, whether he's a bisexual character or whether he's just, it's just he'll just do whatever he can get.
Because, I mean, it's sex. Like I said, there's no rules of sex. It's sex. He attempts to get this girl in a bar. He gets beaten up by the boyfriend. He attempts to go into a club to get sex. By coincidence, there's a gay club across the bar. Okay, I can get sex. By that time, it's sex.
Yeah.
It's
a
sex.
fix. It's like why do you know, drug addicts buy dodgy drugs on the street?
Sure.
You know, and inject it into their veins. God only knows what's going in there. But it's like, where's it available? Where can I get it? And this happens to be available.
And this is all. This is all from research. I mean, it's sex. They don't give it. They just want to get off.
It happens a lot.
Happens a lot. I mean, if they can't get into a club, look a bit disheveled as Brandon did. He couldn't get in. There's some place will take him. That's it. You know, you can get your rocks off over there.
That's what I thought too. So somebody owes me $5.
But also $5. And also, just to answer the other question, it was about holiday. I think people are much more distant from a person who's an alcoholic or a drug addict,
right?
Because all of us have, well,
we all have
majority of us have had sex, or seen the opposite sex or the same sex naked.
It's like food.
Exactly. It's as close to us as you possibly can think of, because with drugs and alcohol you can give up. But sex is another thing. You have to negotiate.
It's true. Yeah.
No, seriously, like, you meet, like recovering sort of addicts that they're in relationships, and then you have to sort of navigate that and make sure that you can keep an eye on that, maintain it, make sure that how do you navigate it without slipping back into the other area? So it's very tricky,
Right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Very kind. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Enjoyed that.
Best of luck with the film.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
very
not
much.
doing it in 3D. Thanks for not doing it in 3D.
I don't know how the ladies would feel about that.
Oh, but we're actually doing it next year. We're sort of doing it,
Bring
it out for the 1 year anniversary.
Sorry.
You haven't seen the uncut version, right?
Good call.